Welcome and congratulations for the choice that you made to embark on this beautiful adventure with me. In this first class, we will briefly explore the origins of Ayurveda and we will learn about the most important texts on which this beautiful science is based. The Sanskrit term Ayurveda is composed of Ayur, which is translated as life, and Veda, translated as knowledge or science. As the science of self-healing, Ayurveda aims to relieve illness and promote physical and psychological well-being. And we all know that, and we all want that. But Ayurveda is more than medicine. It is a philosophy, a psychology. It is a way of seeing yourself and the world with completely different eyes. And most importantly, it's an invitation to understand your body not as a machine that needs to be fixed, but as an intelligent expression of nature itself. So, what makes Ayurveda so special? Ayurveda is one of the oldest healing systems on earth, over 5,000 years old. But its wisdom feels more relevant today than ever. Unlike many systems of medicine, Ayurveda doesn't reduce you to symptoms, to body parts, or just diagnosis. It sees you as a unique being made of energy, emotion, memory, and consciousness. It honors your body as wise, your life as meaningful, your health as something to cultivate, not to restore. That's what makes Ayurveda so deeply different. It's gentle yet profound, rooted in nature but vast in scope. Whether you're dealing with physical discomfort or emotional overwhelm, or you're just searching for a deeper connection to yourself or a deeper meaning in your life for that matter, Ayurveda offers real tools and a perspective that can change your life. Here in the West, we often consider health to be simply the absence of disease. But Ayurveda asks deeper questions. Are you truly well? Are you fulfilled at your work? Are you at peace in your mind, at ease in your body? Are you connected to something greater beyond yourself? Because true health is more than perfect blood tests. Ayurveda defines true health, or Arogya, as a state of balance in 4 areas of life. Your physical and mental well-being, your sense of purpose and meaningful work, your relationships and emotional harmony, and your spiritual connection, however you define that. If one of these is out of balance, your whole system can suffer. And the beauty of Ayurveda is that it offers gentle and all natural tools to restore that balance, whether through food, herbs, daily rituals, or the power of awareness itself. You might be surprised to learn that you are your own best healer. Ayurveda doesn't require you to give away your power. It helps you reclaim it. It teaches you to read your own body's signals, to choose foods, routines, and relationships that nourish rather than drain you. And most importantly, it reminds you that health is not something separate from your daily life. It is how you live. Now, you don't need to live in a forest or drink green juices all day. You need to be aligned with your own nature, with the rhythms of the earth, and with the wisdom that you already carry within. Now let me tell you a story, one that begins way before history, before books, before even names. It is during that time when the great sages of the past would sit in deep meditation, far from the noise of human thought. Now in that stillness of the Himalayan forests, they did not invent Ayurveda, they heard it. They say it came as a whisper from the cosmos, a download of divine intelligence, not written, not taught, but revealed. This is why Ayurveda is more than a system of healing. It is a spiritual science. It doesn't just aim to fix a broken part. It teaches us to remember that life is sacred, that our bodies are expressions of nature's intelligence, and that healing begins when we live in harmony with that truth. It tells us that the goal of life is not just success or pleasure or survival or buying more things, but to realize our divine nature, to live in alignment with the laws of the universe, to move from confusion to clarity, from imbalance to flow, and from forgetfulness to remembrance. Now, to understand Ayurveda fully, we must visit its source, the Vedas, the most ancient spiritual texts known to humanity. The word Veda means knowledge in Sanskrit. It is not just information, but that kind of knowing that feels like remembering. It feels like you've been knowing it all along when you hear it. That kind of knowing that lives in your bones. The Vedas were not authored, they were heard. That's why they're called Shrutis. For thousands of years, these teachings were passed orally, word for word, vibration for vibration, before being written down. And why do they matter today, you may ask? Well, because the Vedas don't just talk about gods and rituals. They speak of laws that govern the whole cosmos and the body alike. They explore everything from the breath to the stars, from mantras to medicine, from the illusion of the ego to the reality of the self. They remind us that we are not separate from nature and that health is not just the absence of disease, it is the harmony between our inner world and the outer. So what are the four Vedas? The first one, the Rig Veda, it is the oldest and it is a symphony of sacred hymns. It speaks of Indra, Agni and Soma, the cosmic forces that correspond to what Ayurveda calls Vata, Pitta and Kapha. It contains over 20,000 mantras. Yes, 20,000 mantras, and many of which are still chanted today. The Samaveda is the science of sound, the root of music, of vibration, and of prana. It is said to be the foundation of healing through resonance. The Yajurveda reveals the sacred architecture of ritual and intention, reminding us that every action, when offered with awareness, can become sacred. And then we have Atharva Veda, which is the healing branch of the Vedas. It offers formulas, prayers, and early medical knowledge, the foundation of classical Ayurveda. Here we find detailed teachings on herbs, longevity, cleansing, transformation, and rejuvenation. Now, all four Vedas are telling the same truth, that reality is one, that all these many gods are simply forces of the same cosmic truth. And suffering? Well, it begins the moment we forget who we are. Now, this is why Ayurveda is so unique. It doesn't just treat symptoms, it listens to your life. It looks at your work, your relationships, your diet, your thoughts, your dharma, that is your purpose. And it knows that the disease in the heart might not start in the blood, but in a heartbreak, or in a job that drains your spirit. It's a medicine that honors the intelligence of the body and the silence of the soul. A medicine that treats you not as a patient, but as a microcosm of the universe. So, yes, Ayurveda teaches about herbs and oils and foods and daily routines. But above all, it invites you to remember this. You are not broken. You're just nature out of rhythm. And all healing is a return to harmony. Now, long after the rishis heard the Vedas in their silent meditation, another phase of Ayurveda began. Over centuries, this wisdom, once vast as the sky, was gathered, tested, and carefully systematized so that future generation could carry it forward. These collections, known as Samhitas, became the pillar of the Ayurvedic practice. Among them, 3 foundational texts shine like guiding stars, known collectively as Bhratrayi, literally meaning the Great Triad. These ancient scriptures form the bedrock of classical Ayurvedic knowledge and practice, authored by the legendary sages Sushruta, Charaka, and Vagbata. Each text brings a unique dimension to the healing tradition, from surgery to internal medicine, from anatomy to daily living, and from spiritual philosophy to practical treatment. Passed down through generations, this timeless work continued to shape the Ayurvedic path of health, harmony, and self-realization. I think of them as bridges, connecting these divine revelations of the Vedas to the everyday needs of humanity. Through these texts, the wisdom of the cosmos was poured into the art of healing, which is Ayurveda. So, who were these sages? The great medical sage Sushruta, active roughly between 300 before Christ and 500 our era, authored the Sushruta Samhita, which is an encyclopedic treatise on surgery, anatomy, and vital surgical techniques. In a long time before modern surgery, he described hundreds of operations and over 1,000 diseases. He mapped bones and nerves and vessels and vital points in the body with a precision that still amazes the scholars today. His students were trained for at least 6 years, and they were swearing an oath as solemn as noble as the Hippocratic one. Sushruta reminded them, true medicine means serving all, no matter their station in life, with a pure and a selfless heart. Now imagine him in ancient Varanasi on the banks of the Ganga River, passing down this precious craft while the city itself was shimmering with prayers and lamps, a testament to India's eternal dance of spirit and science. Renounce anger, greed, ego, and deceit. Treat all beings as your own kin, and let compassion guide your hands. Sushruta Samhita. Charaka, a sage physician of remarkable brilliance, he brought Ayurveda's focus to internal medicine. It is estimated to have lived somewhere between 100 before Christ and 150 and 200 of our era. His collection, Charaka Samhita, is still recognized today as the foundation of internal medicine in India. His work offers an intricate exploration of physiology, diagnosis, and herbal treatment. But beyond the physical, Charaka's teachings invite us into a deeper philosophy of healing. He writes that disease begins when we forget the sacred, when we forget God, when we lose touch with that divine presence within us and around us. That gap, he says, that forgetting creates a sort of a longing, like a magnetic attraction, and then suffering becomes the way that the body and the soul call us back to that state of unity. Illness for Charaka is not just a malfunction, it is a messenger, pointing to where we've drifted away from balance. Charaka also teaches the time, season, diet, and lifestyle shape our well-being, and he devotes entire chapters to prevention, rejuvenation, and the power of food and plants to restore harmony. A physician who fails to enter the body of a patient with the lamp of knowledge and understanding can never treat disease. Charaka Samhita. Charaka's message still rings true today. Prevention is the highest form of medicine. And finally, Vagbata. Between roughly 400 and 600 of our era, he compiled and refined those teachings into a more concise collection, Ashtanga Hridaya. His Ashtanga Hridaya, which is the heart of the 8 branches, became the book that students of Ayurveda still turn to today. Vagbata reminded us why this science matters. Persons desiring a long life, which is the means for achieving Dharma, Artha, and Shuka, which are righteousness, wealth, and happiness, should repose utmost faith in the teachings of Ayurveda. In his words, Ayurveda is not a relic, but a compass, pointing to a life where purpose, prosperity, and joy can bloom. As a final thought, dear ones, you were not born to manage symptoms. You were born to know yourself. And through Ayurveda, you're invited to do just that, not as a patient, but as a participant. Until next class, I want you to ponder on the next question. If your body could speak to you directly right now, what would it say? Would it ask for stillness, for movement, for nourishment, forgiveness? Take a moment. Listen. The journey begins with this first whisper. In our next session, we will start looking into Samkhya, which is the philosophical backbone of Ayurveda. It is my favorite class, and I hope you will enjoy it as much. It is a grand map of the universe that explains how spirit and matter weave together to create everything, including you. Get ready to discover how the cosmos gave birth to your mind, your body, and your soul's purpose.